passing through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
Damn you all to hell!
This is the Solar Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the favourite YouTube channel of bus fanatics and collectors of bus stations and stations and aliens.
No!
How are you this week, Mr. Copeland, Michael Ball? How are you?
Hello, Mr. Martin Sci-Fi. I'm very well, thank you. How's your week been? Been all right? Anything interesting to report?
It's been all right. I got bed built today. I'm quite happy about that. Got my humidifiers turned up, and
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna try and stop smoking in the next week or so. I'm looking at vaporizers. And, yeah,
vaporizers! It's like the Invaders, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like the Invaders, isn't it? Sorry, I've watched too much science fiction. This week, I have just finished literally about an hour ago watching the whole. We're going to review it next week if you're up for it. Logan's Run, the TV series. I've just finished
definitely
it.
up for that. It's an all-time favourite. Yeah.
Never seen it before. I've really enjoyed it. There's one or two duff episodes, but the majority of it was really solid. I thought it's a shame it finished open-ended, but it obviously got cancelled after its
Some
first
great
season.
stories in there.
Yeah, DC Fontana was involved there as well. She did.
Very. It had that when we were going into the late 70s, it was like that Star Trek feel of stuff. You know what I mean?
So,
you can tell it was all connected.
Yeah. So next week we're going to focus on that, and also I think we'll delve a bit into the connection with the movie, which was before that. But this week we are going to be focusing on a series which is made in the mid to late 80s. It was inspired by shows like V. And Kenneth Johnson was involved, and he did V as well. And it was Alien Nation, which I think is a great series to talk about. So, should we hit the jingle and go straight into it?
Don't you want to talk about bus?
Well, this week, I shall quickly say this week's background wallpaper for me. I wanted to find a webcam of Los Angeles because, of course, I think that's where Alien Nation is based. I couldn't find one, so I found this place in Kentucky. But if you look at it, I superimposed a flying UFO above the street, rotating, which is quite clever because I had to do a loop and green screen and stuff like that to make it look like there's like an alien UFO, even though it's a lot smaller, above an American city. That's as good as I could do it. I love to get all sad with my graphics and stuff. So I've done that.
We need to talk about bus stations. This is what this podcast's all about.
Well, I like On the Buses. I like, which was a 70s series, which was very good. And it had, the very nerdy fact here that On the Buses, the movies, had red buses. And on the TV series, they had green buses.
Right, well,
how's that for nerdy? How's that?
Well, it is nerdy, and that has no doubt affected somebody's life right now.
And I was sad. I do remember the bus because route masters were RM, and then M were Metro buses, which were in the 80s. And then we had Titan buses, which had a back window to the left of the. I'm really getting nerdy here. I used to quite like buses when I was about 10 or 12.
No, I've always liked buses.
I do like London buses. There's one thing I miss in Portsmouth. We haven't even got any double deckers down here. I miss London Transport buses. I like the new ones, which I've only seen once or twice, which look like Route Masters, but they're modernised. They look quite cool.
I miss the bendy bus, mate.
I never really saw those. That wasn't because I think
they were great for years. People got
never went on one. Never went on one.
Nobody ever paid on bendy bus.
Nobody,
because they all.
Why? Too far away.
It was they couldn't do anything about it. The bus was that big. Everybody got on it middle. Nobody got on at front. And then what they started doing, TfL, they got all these inspectors with police officers.
I was going to say, can you conductors or something?
Started like arresting people, and then they got rid of bendy buses.
Oh, and then that's when you got the sort of modernised Route Master buses, which resemble the ones.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's really.
You mean the one that cost £1 million a piece and you can't open the windows?
Yeah. The one I don't know about the windows, but I know that they're expensive, and I've heard they stopped making them. But listen, we could talk about buses all day.
No, let's get back to what we're good at. Yeah. By the way, I've just shown you a history of Leeds bus stations.
Oh, this is really good. You're really getting into character now. Obviously,
yeah,
for our audio
that's
listeners.
that's like that Buster. That's the new one, right?
Right,
That's
the one that's going by.
That's all like modern, and they got rid of Leeds Market, but that were in the 80s, and you could get to Harrogate and York and all, like a little weird Buster. You used to get lots of strange people hanging about in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I
Well,
remember
bus
parents
stations
said to me,
tend to.
don't go to that bus station. You
And I
know?
bet you still did, didn't you?
Well, we all did because
Yes, exactly. You just ignore your parents, don't you?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, like I said, for our audio listeners, we've got Martin's presented us with some lovely graphics of Leeds bus station from back
Yes.
in the day. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the Solo One Bus podcast. I mean, I've just done the Arvida Same Pet. Are you really pleased with it? I've got a background of a building
I
site.
can't wait for this.
And we're going to do it at some point. We're going to record a special one-off and save it for Christmas for our break week. And it's going to be a one-off for people who love this sort of great British comedy stroke drama from the 80s. And it's got you and me sort of looking a bit sort of dodgy, standing by sort of like builders sort of whatnot caravan.
Yeah. Can you? Is there a chance you know that famous picture where they're all stood in front of the hut?
Yeah.
Can you and I be putting the huts next to them?
Well, that's what I did that with in front of the modernised hut. I did that already. I could put us with them.
That's what I mean. Now, what a great picture that'd be.
Yeah, all right, okay. Yeah. I love it.
In front of the legendary hut.
And we can call it Alvida Same Pod.
Alvida Same Pod, yeah. I'd just like to say next week we'll be covering car parks. So.
Oh, I can't wait. Actually, what I could do for the background about a few years ago, because I always make this custom. Sorry, we are going to get in topic very quickly. I used to make customized screensavers on my computer, and I did one where I put a webcam, or I think it was an old iPhone, onto the dashboard of my car, and I drove around for about 15-20 minutes from the sea up to my road, and you can see all the cars and how busy it is, and it goes in a loop. It could be a background in the making soon, and the background for our YouTube viewers.
Yes, maybe time to move on to car parks now.
It could be. It's just, honestly, I love the way this show goes. It's so bizarre, isn't it?
I'd just like to say before we start.
Sure.
I tried uploading Buck Rogers today twice. It wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, you mean to put on the YouTube? Oh, I got away with
I
it.
couldn't do it.
Mine from last week. If you saw it, it cuts out. There was a little intro which cut.
Yes.
It jumped to back. The Solo One, which is okay. It still works. And at the end, you got most of the musical outro, but it did a jump, so it sort of worked. Yeah. I think I was just lucky. Martin, don't worry about it. It's ridiculous.
I'm not. I deleted it.
No. You've got enough.
No,
you've got enough to do in your time.
I've got my new project. You're not going to believe what I'm doing tomorrow.
The
worst film ever made, John Travolta.
Oh, I liked it. Oh, not Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I have never seen it.
It's the worst film ever made.
I've heard that. I've heard it. Oh, okay. I've not seen that.
It's that bad. Honestly.
I'll tell you what.
It's got a big budget on it.
I know, but I know it was a real flop. I quite liked him in things like Grease and stuff. I'll tell you what we'll do.
Great in that.
It's not a bit. It's just that film. Let's do a Logan's Run next week, and maybe the week after we can do a panning kind of review. But we might. I might love it, and you might loathe it. You never know.
No, that's true. That some people do like it. So that's it. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a couple of sci-fi films this week. I saw this film with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet, and it was about his an unhappy love affair. I can't remember what it's called now. And he had his memory wiped, but they kind of meet and they kind of reconnect, but they don't quite connect. And it wasn't very good. But I saw another one today called Midnight in Paris, which was very much like Goodnight Sweetheart. And a friend recommended it, and it was this guy. It was like he's an American guy. Actually, it's interesting because two of the people in Loki were together in a scene in Midnight in Paris. Loki was there. And he was talking to the guy in Loki, the one that was. He was also in. He's been in quite a few films. I can't think of his name. He's got blonde hair. He was the one that when he got there, he said, "Oh, you're part of this thing, and we're going to hear to tell you about the temporal accord." And I can't think of his name. And they're both there in the scene together. And it's funny.
Tom Hiddleston.
I don't know his name. He's got blonde hair. He's got a slightly dent in his nose. And he was also in Wedding Crashers.
I haven't seen that.
Oh God, what's his name? Oh, it's going to bug me. Sorry, but I'm really going to know these guys.
It's all right. It's all right. It does. It's you know. I'll give it a check and have a look. And
No, I just want to know the name of the actors. Cast. Here, it's coming up now. Wedding Crashers guy. Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson.
Yes.
He was also. Yeah, they were both together in the scenes together. So I thought
today the new Marvel series starts. What if?
Oh, is this a cartoon? Do you know what? I was interested until I heard it was a cartoon.
Oh, is it all cartoons?
It's a cartoon.
Oh,
It's
right.
cartoons. No,
Right, so it's only going to be on.
I've never heard of a Marvel cartoon, even though that Marvel is based on comics. So
Well,
it's
there's
almost
lots of cartoons, but
I was going to say, I don't know.
think it's going to be quite good there. I think you should give it a look.
maybe. I mean, like I said,
I'll let you know. I'm going to watch it after the podcast. So.
And I'm going to put on the back burner Lower Decks for Star Trek. I'm just not a big animated
Can't
fan.
bothered with that. It's
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's not, but it's like. Anyway, let's get on with the.
We're losing it. Bus stations, car
Sorry,
parks,
I know.
and
love
actors we don't know names of. So
Trek fan's going to be gone. He's going to say stuff these nuts I'm gone. So I don't
I'm talking about fucking bus stations and car parks.
Not even at UK bus stations and car parks. It's even worse.
What we need is to get. All right,
Go on.
let's get on. Let's go. No, let's go. Let's get on.
All right.
You're right.
Jingle. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi.
focus of the week.
Right, this week then, we are focusing on a series which came along in, I've got my details here, so I'm trying to be a bit more organised this week. From 1980, actually 89 I think it was, yeah, September 89 was the first episode. And that was, of course, it was starred Gary Graham and Eric Pierpoint, who I know from a lot of sci-fi. They're both in this Star Trek in many different roles. And that was, of course, Alien Nation, a series which I did really enjoy. And of course, it was a spin-off from the movie. So I think what we'll do is let's talk about this TV series, and then we'll come back and ask about how you thought the original movie was. So I guess as usual, Martin, because it's just the two of us these days, what did you think of Alien Nation?
Do you know, Alien Nation's a weird one because I used to go out on Saturday night and ITV used to put it on about 12 o'clock.
Yeah, really late, like Ward at Wells. Yeah,
really late. It was like Ward at Wells. It sort of came
the same
on
time.
after Ward at Wells, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but it was really that sort of time scale, wasn't it? Sort of time of
Yeah,
day.
so when that sort of finished, Alien Nation started.
Right.
And I started watching it and because I'd seen the film and I started watching it and I really got into it and I started recording it everywhere. He set the video when I used to, and I started recording it and I was really hooked. And it wasn't the science fiction series. It was his relationship, the Gary Graham's character, the police officer, with the family of the aliens, Eric Pierpoint's and his son, and there was a grandfather and all that. I loved it. And there was something magical in that TV series. There really was. I loved it.
I agree. Although I have to say, in many ways, apart from them looking alien, it really could have been a standard drama. It could have been there wasn't a lot. It wasn't a pure, very out there sci-fi concept. It was just basically aliens who look humanoid, are stranded on Earth, and then of course it's how it disrupts humanity because it is Los Angeles. I think they land in. I think that's where they are. And it does remind me of that South African film. I can't remember.
District 9 or something.
Yeah, which you said you're not a big fan of. So there are some parallels between those two, and also
definitely.
V, which is one of my favourites. And I know that when this came on, I do remember that Kenneth Johnson was involved with this series, and of course he was also involved with the V series, which had a very similar premise, except obviously that the humanoids in V were lizards and all that sort of stuff. So, let's read the pilot, and it just says, just for reference if you've not seen it, it says the Francisco family move into a more affluent neighborhood where they are welcomed by some, are resented by others. The youngest daughter, Emily, attempts to go to a new school, but is blocked by protesters on her first day. Sykes and George arrive, and Sykes compares newcomers to other minority groups, such as the Jewish people and other ethnic minorities. Shamed, the group disperses, and Emily enters the school, and then it sort of goes on about. The thing is, even just reading that, a lot of this was a show disguised to show the issues of racism, which is something I didn't really think about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that was quite an interesting sort of idea, but they're making
Which
it
is
as,
quite relevant. It's quite relevant for today, actually.
yeah. I mean, it's actually
Alienation.
interesting. I mean, did the Alien Nation race? Did they have different colours, or were they all predominantly white humanoid? I
No,
don't know.
there were. I think from what I remember in the film, it's a bit
I
different.
can't
with
remember.
them.
I can't remember.
They had the overseers. They were like,
The
'cause in
overseers.
the film. In the film, there was a third alien race that created them to be a slave race.
I see. I've not seen the film
I
for
think
so
that was
long.
the original.
So there's a
concept.
difference from the TV from the film, because the
Yeah,
film and
and-
TV are not direct sequels.
Yeah,
they're not.
and then what we started finding out in the TV series, there was they had a tattoo around their arm there,
The
and
overseers
they were
had that
called
to show that they were.
overseers,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember that. I do remember that.
and they were like the slave masters. They were in charge, but then they never really, because in the film they were created, they were for different environments to work in, so
Yeah.
there was another like commanding alien force in the
There's a
background. They sort of
third-
dropped that.
Yeah,
In the
I was going
TV
to say that
series,
didn't come in the
obviously
TV series.
we'll get into the movies. Of
Yeah,
this
I mean,
that
to be
followed.
honest with you, when we get to that in a minute, you'll need to remind me because it's so long since I've seen them. I can't even remember how they went, quite frankly. It's
I
been
remember
years.
one that was pivotal to the entire series, but the other movies didn't really do anything. They were pretty.
Well, I've got a
Nah.
synopsis for the three of them, so we can obviously talk about that.
Yeah, but there was some good episode. There was one episode where the what did they call? Not visitors. What they had? What did they call?
Yeah, well,
them?
there was a name like
It
Skanks
wasn't
or
visitors.
something.
There were a name. Yeah,
There was
something.
like a racist term, which
Yeah.
something like that, and I just can't remember what they were called. I was looking that
Wasn't
up.
it Skags or something like
Yeah, something
that?
like skanks. Yeah, something like that. All I can remember is the one syllable thing like that. I don't know what it was though. Something like that.
There was an episode where a probe from the aliens came into Earth's solar system, and we detected it by Jupiter. And this scientist on
Right.
Earth tried contacting it, and him and Eric, the police officer, I forgot his name.
Sykes.
They went and stopped it because he knew what if they'd have come here, we'd forget.
We'd be
it,
stuffed. Yeah, be buggered. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, they wasn't it that they couldn't drink old milk or something?
Yeah, they got
Wasn't it
pissed on. They got hammered on. What was it? Off milk, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
yogurt
it
and
was.
stuff.
It was yogurt and milk that had gone off or something. I remember that, which I thought was quite a funny thing. And you used to see them sometimes, like the standing by and like sitting on the ground there with a yogurt or something, or an old carton of
they
milk,
were all like
which
drunk
is quite an
and that,
interesting
yeah.
thing.
And what was that other thing? They were not. They couldn't go in the sea.
That's it. That's the
couldn't go in
thing
the
I
sea.
forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. They salt water would destroy them. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but there was an episode with the grandfather where he stood in salt water in front of the sun, and it
Yeah, how
didn't
did you- I
affect
can't
him.
remember how he
'Cause
did it. I
I don't
remember
know.
that.
He was quite mystical with grandfather.
He had something about him which could actually stop
Yeah.
the water from hurting him or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
there was something.
The thing is, because I thought myself, I did think about doing Logan's Run this week. 'Cause I just finished it, but I don't know, watching the whole of Alien Nation before we actually reviewed it. But
It's a lot.
That's why I didn't really
It's
have
a
the
lot.
time, and I do like it, but it'll take me ages to get
I
through.
think
all the stuff.
I think you'd watch probably the main like interesting episodes and drop out of at least 15 of them.
Yeah, but I was looking here. There's 22 episodes in total for season one. There's only
I
one
think there's
season.
about 7 episodes that are decent. There was one where the aliens on the ship, they started it up on Earth because San Francisco, whatever his name was, the police officer.
George Francisco, I think. It's
George
called.
Francisco. They were doing Russian roulette with salt water.
Yeah, the game. I think
Do
it's
you
called the
remember
game.
that
yeah,
game?
and it
Yeah,
says.
yeah, I
And
remember
I think what happens is that it's like Russian roulette, and then if you lose, it squirts water. It squirts salt water,
yeah.
and you get killed instead of a bullet. I thought that was clever. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
there is some good stuff in there. And then
there
you
is some
got
good
the human supremacist movement as well.
Yeah,
what
that's
they
right.
did.
They're building up because like a resistance to this alien, not takeover, but this disruptive influence on their society before they arrive.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought that was an interesting thing. Again, this series is definitely a show which is paralleling real world issues.
It stands today.
And it's it reminds you a bit of Let This Be Your Last Battlefield from Star Trek. And I mentioned this episode a lot because it's so clever with the race where a race is one white and black, but they got the other way around. And of course that show is about racism, even though it's alien form.
Yeah, but they say
parallels.
that is like, because when we were on about stuff like Doctor Who last time, we found it patronising.
Yeah,
this is what you call good writing
because it's done in a very succinct way. It's not in your face,
and they're telling you
that's what's wrong with a lot of modern sci-fi. They do it in a way that's so blatant. They don't need to. That's what I'm saying. Oh, my next question to you was: do you think they could make it successfully if they made it in 2022 next year or something?
I think we need something like that now. I really do. But would that air now?
Could they do it though? Well, yeah, but could they not air it if it is aliens? It's a clever way of doing it. Yeah, but
it's a positive message though, isn't it? It's a positive message, isn't it? Because
he
falls in. He's like in love with the Gary Graham, who's a great.
With the neighbour, his neighbour.
The police officer.
Yeah,
he falls. I fancied her. I remember. I did. I thought because you could see. They focused on the sexual tension.
Her name was Kathy Frankel, I think it is.
And it was interesting.
Go on.
It was interesting because the sort of works well together. It was a magical series with Alien Nation. It's a shame it never got. I know they got the movies after, but it should have got a 5-year run.
Oh, well, this is what happens so often in these shows, isn't it? That they. You think they're going to go on for a long time and they don't, and it's a real shame. It just like I said,
the point you made earlier, you were right. A lot of the stories were quite. It were like human drama. It did verge on like a soap opera in some parts.
Yeah, like on the streets of San Francisco, like a cop show or something. You didn't have that.
and the family and a bit of Lethal Weapon in there as well.
Yeah. I mean, you could see that it had a mix. And it felt different. It did feel different from the movie because, of course, the movie has an advantage that it's just an hour and a half, 2-hour story. And of course, the TV show, good. I think it is as well. I have to watch that again as well. And a lot of elements from the movie were, as you've already said, taken across into the TV series. Apart from this third element of the.
I think so. I could be wrong, but when I saw it at the cinema, the film. There was they called them the Masters or something. There was another
it's been so
race
long
above them. So I don't know that. And then they went and sunk all that down the toilet, which I think they shouldn't have done that.
I mean, it reminds me of a thing is, you see, I mean, another show which actually lasted 2 seasons, but they should have just done the one, was War of the Worlds, which was made at a similar time to this show. And the first season, but it had a similar thing where it sort of finished on a relatively open premise, and then they took season 2 and threw it down the toilet. So, but I mean, this is different because they made these TV. So obviously, it had built up enough of a following that they thought, well, look, we can't just finish it like that's it. We're going to make some TV movies, which must have been relatively successful because they made about 3 or 4 or 4 or 5. They made quite a few. I mean, on here it says here that they made television movies, Alien and Dark Horizon, and it says that they oversee a named I can't pronounce it. Posno comes to Earth to take the slaves and all humans back to the mothership.
Yep.
That was in 1994. Then the next year they had Alien Nation Body and Soul, where Sykes and Francisco are called into a case where a mysterious young girl who looks part newcomer, part human appears.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I don't remember that one. Her huge brutish counterparts try to free her from the precinct, and their bizarre relationship turns out to be a result of a slave ship medical experiment. I've not seen that one. Meanwhile, Kathy and Matt.
Seen that.
Oh, hang on. Meanwhile, Kathy and Matt are going to sex school in preparation to become intimate. Maybe that's why we're not seeing it.
Better check that out on Pornhub.
I know, exactly. It's got a triple X next to it. I don't want to go there. And then that was in 1995. Then the next year again, we had Alien Nation Millennium. It's December.
I've seen that one. I remember that one.
Let me read that. So it says at the end of Alien Approaches, people are tempted to find spiritual enlightenment. However, a few people want to skip all the work that entails a holy Tenctonese relic in the hands of a heretic. It's given them a shortcut, but is not quite as easy to control as she says. I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
That was
it's
in
like I remember
96.
at the end, it's like a big hologram projector or something. Because I mean, there's another question that they never answered. When that 5 mile spaceship, that big UFO landed on Earth, what happened to it?
Do you know what? This is a live thing. My wife is just calling. I'm just gonna quickly call her back. Sorry. This is
Okay.
live. Give me a second. Sorry about that. I do apologise. We have a little issue there. I'll get it out. That's fine. So let's just carry on from where we were. So what we're saying before I got paused.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember I watched the entire TV series, and I remember you got the clip of the spaceship,
Yeah.
and it's like 5 miles big or something, and it landed in desert. So what happened? Well, all that technology in the ship, what happened to it?
Well, again, it's reminding me of V because in the TV series they capture the mothership, and if you remember
Yeah.
Nathan Bates and everything, they
They
were
had
using
scientists on board
yeah.
taking it
Why?
apart.
I mean, but what happened? Because obviously in the opening intro, you see the ship floating above.
Yeah, you do,
But-
yeah.
And it doesn't. It does stay, doesn't it? I think it does stay. I can't remember.
Well,
now.
yeah, it's the ship is lost because in the movie Dark
Dark Horizon.
Horizon, they're looking for the ship, so the ship has never been found.
Yeah. I mean,
So
let's
I
go.
never mentioned that, and I would thought, well, the technology on that ship is centuries ahead of us. So what's happened to the ship?
And again, that's
And
like a
what-
parallel you'd see in things like Independence Day, which was a good example
Yeah,
of that.
and none of
Or
the
Stargate.
aliens, yeah, and none of the aliens have any idea how any of it works as well.
No,
There must
I
have
don't
been
know.
some crew on board that knew how to work things. There must have been.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because this is where it falls flat on its arse now.
yeah,
Because when
this is
you go-
actually interesting. Yeah, I mean,
Because when you go into Dark Horizon, which I am a big fan of Dark Horizon, where the Overseer comes to Earth,
yeah,
because there's some transmitter where an Overseer's, he's living, this Overseer, he's homeless, and he's got a Tesco trolley, one's in a Walmart trolley, and
As you do.
something's broadcasting, and you go to see where these aliens are, and they've
Yeah.
got these giant-sized spaceships. I mean, they're immense.
Yeah.
And he's like some kind of higher up special forces overseer, and they send him to Earth, and obviously he turns up and he finds, what's going on.
right.
But where's what's happened to the technology? There must have been some people like him who were controlling the ship.
We're actually
unless
working
the
out.
ship
Yeah.
was a drone ship. It
Well,
was
let's,
a computer.
Let's have a look at the description of the last two movies because it might
Yeah.
partly answer your question. So number 4, which is in 1996 again. These were all years for about 4 or 5 years. This one was called The Enemy Within, and it says when Detective Sykes and Francisco are presented with the mysterious death of Eno, Matt is stupefied to discover that George has really snubbed the case. He, like most newcomers, reviles the outcast Ignos. As the case unfolds, George has to reassess his prejudices, and George's family help to save the city from an alien threat originating in the Eno waste disposal facility. I don't remember that at all. The Enemy Within, again. So it's funny how some of these TV movies don't seem to show much progression. Except from what I've gathered, it's the same thing. The aliens are still there, and it's just like almost like feature-length specials, isn't it? They're not like proper TV movies.
Well, in Dark Horizon, because that continued where the series left off on a cliffhanger,
right.
with the human supremacist movement, released the nerve gas that could kill them, like the
Right.
disease thing.
Right.
And then in Dark it continued that, and this super overseer came to Earth, and they found a cure for it. But then they figured out that he was from there.
Right.
And obviously, there's a big chase down. He gets to his spaceship, and Sykes, he throws a vial of that germ stuff into his ship.
Oh. Okay.
And at the end of Dark Knight, as he returns to the big mothership, wherever it is in the universe, that he's been infected by that thing. But when he's there, he's having visions about freedom and how he met people and he likes being free, and it
So he's got a
affected him. His time
remember,
on
yeah, it's
Earth.
affected him. Okay.
So,
That's,
and that leader at Overseer people, she said we can't go there because there's obviously nothing there.
Yeah.
But so I mean, this is it. I mean, to be honest, wouldn't you be getting ready to prepare for these if they turn up?
Well,
Because,
exactly.
I mean, they are
you'd
not
be
a nice
terrified.
place
You'd
at
be
all.
terrified. You would work out a way. You'd tell humanity about this threat, I'd assume, unless they're too.
Well-
and I think maybe they wouldn't, because they'd be too scared that we'd reject them more.
Yeah, but the technology. I mean, this is where you go down Stargate. But you're going to start adapting technology, because if they're out there, they're not just enslaving them; they're enslaving other races.
And then if they
You know.
help us with their technology that we acquire, then that will help us defend them as well as build up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
none of this. This is where they would have gone with a lot of this, I think. But I could see Dark Horizons spread over season 2, over 20. They could spread one movie,
I mean,
the
Dark
storyline,
Horizons.
over 22 episodes quite easily.
It does sound like really this was the only. I'm going to read the last one in a second. But Dark Horizons
Yeah.
seems to be the one only TV movie where it really stood out from the rest of these.
Yeah,
follow-ups.
definitely.
The
Yeah.
last one was called The Udara Legacy. Matt and George investigate a series of strange occurrences involving newcomers who are found to be programmed to carry out someone else's dirty work. The method by which they are brainwashed dates back to the slave ship's resistant movement, the Udara, of which Susan was part. Susan and George's lives are further disrupted when Buck enrolls in the police academy. So it sounds like it didn't at least have a particularly significant ending after
No.
these TV movies. It sounds like they kept them doing, and it's probably what happened was the last one probably just didn't do very well, and that was the end of it. That was the final one that they did. So yeah, it's strange because, like I said, I all I remember was the first TV movie, Dark Horizon.
Yep.
I do remember that, but I don't remember any of the others.
No,
really.
I remember the one you were on about Millennium with the hologram
yeah.
of their home planet or something.
Yeah.
That I remember that.
It's all
I don't-
very
the
vague.
Udara
It's all-
one I don't remember. I have
No.
seen them, but
I thought I'd seen them all, but they're not really ringing any bells at all. So
no.
yeah, it's
I
a
might.
shame.
Is Alien Nation on YouTube? But because if it is, I might give it a look.
It might be. I don't know. I'll have to check. But I mean, there are digital copies out there. Obviously,
I don't think I'd want to sit through 22 episodes of that.
Yeah,
I mean, there was.
I wanted that. I felt bad about that because we obviously the whole point of the podcast is to review shows, and I love doing it. But I didn't particularly fancy just sitting there watching 22 hours of Alien Nation. I mean,
of them
like I said,
developing relationships with people and how to live amongst us.
and
Yeah.
becoming more of a drama just with people with alien makeup and stuff. That is actually a factor with the show.
I think-
but I don't know.
I think if you brought it back, there were rumours that they were trying to get it back. It was going to come back a couple
You mean
of
a
years
proper
ago.
continuation? I mean, the thing is, I like
It was
going to
be it was going to be set 30, 40 years on. Now, if you brought it back, you could do the Dark Horizon story over a season where they could be coming here.
Well, they
Or
could
one
do
of them
anything though.
turns
I mean,
up.
if it's 30, I think it's set in 1990, so they did like 30, 40 years later. I mean, because I know that Gary Graham is still busy acting because he's been.
Oh, yeah.
He recently appeared in Axanar of all things, and you know how that.
Yeah, he
went with
walked
Star
from
Trek.
that. He
I
walked
don't
from
blame
that.
him. I don't blame him. He went up at warp speed, I think, and just about everybody else did. Oh, it wasn't just him though. I know the actors they all got this clause. where they
Yeah,
can't-
well, good old actor now showed a picture of one of the phaser guns, and I thought, how long is it before you start flogging them?
Oh, I'm not going to. Oh, well,
Yeah, he did.
no,
He put it
yeah,
up to
I know.
them
I'm not
first,
disputing
but
what
I
you're
was gonna
saying.
send you it, actually. I was
Oh
gonna
well,
send
I'm not.
you it,
I know. No, I'm very. I've actually decided. I don't think I'm ever going to watch. If they ever make.
No, I can't bother
I'm gonna.
with
I'm
it.
actually going to even though I paid towards it. I think if it's ever released in like this next millennia by the year 3000, which is probably by the time it actually gets released. As a principle, I'm not going to watch it. I'm done with the whole thing. It's a mess. It's just a money. It's just a money.
Well, he's just wanting money all the time, and I'm sick
No,
of
it's
it. I
awful.
sent him,
It's
sent him
awful.
money after the first one. I sent him about.
Well, that
15
was
quid.
that must have been good. What, 4 or 5 years? It's been years.
Yeah, I sent him about. I think.
And he still says sit in the bridge like.
Quid.
And you get these when I finally unsubscribed. The last scenes with him sitting on the bridge. Hey, this is Alec Peter, and we're on the bridge of the Axanar, and we there's a light bulb over there, and it's working today, and that's it for today, and we'll be back tomorrow. And we're going to sit on the bridge again and go. whatever. It's just I fell
Yeah,
off it.
just
I'm
send me some
sick
of your
to-
money.
Yeah, yeah.
Send me
just
some more money so I can do
Send me
this.
some. If you send us a tenner, then we'll let you see my the ship's toilet paper
Yeah.
or something. You know, or see the bathroom or something.
Okay.
Piss off. Absolute ruddy does. Bloody. Oh. I'm so pissed off at that guy. We've missed out on Star Trek Continues extra episodes because of that.
I know.
You know what I thought about that series? Oh, yeah, it's complete nuts. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm going to tangent. But anyway, Gary Graham was on that, but he's also Gary Graham has been in a lot of Star Trek. He played a Ocampan. Saval. He also played an Ocampan in Voyager as well. I think he's only been in Voyager.
He did.
He played the one that tried to make Kes stay on the
he lived with the second caretaker.
And he was good in that as well. I think he's a great actor. I really like everything I've seen. Gary Graham.
He should have
really
been
good.
a much bigger star, you know.
Yeah, he's always been in he's always had memorable roles in TV. He never broke into the movies, which is strange. Eric Pierpoint as well, great actor. He
He's
appeared
fantastic at Babylon 5.
and DS9. He played a starship captain. He also appeared in an episode of The Next Generation where he was trying to test people's emotions with his race. Come on, the episode, season 7 episode. And even Michelle Scarabelli, who played the newcomer's wife, she appeared in the episode of Next Generation where Data finally gets a girlfriend, and she's on the rebound. I think it's called In Theory, I think the episode was called, and of course eventually it all goes wrong. So yeah, some good actors there, well known in Star Trek. Yeah, it's interesting because, like I said, I like the fact that a lot of these shows, they have the potential of coming back, but if they did come back again, would it work? Especially in this age where everything is done in a very careful way, and you don't want to offend anybody and go in a certain route. That's the only thing that might affect it. But as I said, it was clever because it did focus on racism.
Well, it's like
in a different way.
It's like what you said about that Star Trek episode, Let This Be Your Last Battlefield.
Oh.
They dealt with the situation that was going on at the time.
And
it was
most people went
beautiful.
over their heads. They didn't even know what it was about.
No, and it was such a powerful.
And if that's what's
episode.
so clever. They did that about racism. That they did it, and it went over the reviewers'
over
ways.
the censors
Otherwise,
and
it
all
wouldn't.
that.
All the censors. Otherwise, it would never. But only people who appreciate sci-fi and appreciate what it's about can see what they're talking about.
Yep, that's true.
And that's why they don't think like that these days. It's all literally in your face, and it's just
patronising.
Yeah, patronising. Yeah, that's a very good term for it. Yeah, it's patronising, and it's. I don't know whether they just consider people now to be a little bit less intelligent, or I don't know. There's something different in media these days.
Yeah.
And
It's like they're afraid to take on, big issues.
Rock the boat. They want to sort of.
I think you need to rock the boat with science fiction because
I think so.
too.
That's what
there's
makes it
so
interesting.
many fantastic stories out there. You know.
I know. That's what makes it interesting. That's a strange thing. I don't know. But I think we should sort of wrap up in a minute, unless you've got anything else. But I did like it. I thought it was a good series.
Yeah. No.
What else?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to sort of focus on this series? Because, like I said, it was good. We'd like to see it
No,
come
I
back.
think that's it. I don't think I'll be sitting down watching it all. I might watch the Dark Horizon.
Yeah, I might give Dark Horizon to watch now that you make.
I think that's all you need, really, because you get the whole cover of it all.
Yeah.
And I might give the James Caan movie a go again.
Yeah, I might do actually. Like I said, it's
With Terence Stamp, actually. Terence Stamp.
Oh, God, I forgot he was in that.
He was the druggy alien. who
Yes,
took
he
that
was.
drug.
Yeah, he was in. I forgot. He was obviously in the movie.
forgot about
I forgot about. Yeah. Terence
You
Stamp
know,
was
I
in
hadn't
that.
seen that film in about 25 years, you know.
No, I've not. I mean, it's been a long time
No.
since I've seen the
Yeah.
TV series, let alone the original movie. I did like it, like we've already said. I thought the original movie was clever, but like I said, it did remind me a bit of V at the beginning, especially as it was made by the same guy. But no, good sci-fi ideas. But like I said, it's sort of, to me, it's half sci-fi, half regular drama. It's a kind of weird mix of both.
With a bit of Lethal Weapon mixed in the middle.
And also a way of looking at racism. But again, like I said, back then they did it more of a succinct way compared to if they did it now.
What did they used to call them? Buddy cop movies. A buddy cop, the buddy cop thing.
Yeah,
The two
what Lethal
cops.
Weapon.
One who's a bit. There was one in the 70s where there was this copper, American police, and he teamed up with an android, and it were all about same thing, same format, you know.
Yeah.
This android.
But I mean, I like some of them. I mean, I like Starsky and Hutch. I've been watching some of those. I thought that was quite good. The Miami Vice, I know you like. And I quite like that as well.
That, yeah.
So, you know, it's funny because the majority of stuff we like is sci-fi, but we do like some un-sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there is stuff. I mean, I'm wondering at some point, I'd really like to cover Airwolf, but would you class that as science fiction?
But sort of, it's a bit like Knight Rider, isn't it? Because it's a technologically advanced machine compared to
ultra
what was
technology.
available.
It's more
Knight
advanced
Rider,
than anything.
Knight Rider, again, Alien Nation, Knight Rider, and Airwolf are one of those strange entities where they are almost half sci-fi, half regular drama. It's just a slight sci-fi element, but it's not a pure sci-fi show.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a kind of half and half, and I think that's. But I still like them. But I've not seen.
Yeah, I love
Airwolf.
Airwolf. And I'm gonna say I thought Blue Thunder was shit, and Airwolf would kick its ass.
Blue Thunder was that
They probably get shot down for saying that.
I don't know if I know if I ever saw Blue Thunder. I know of it.
Don't bother.
I know Ernest Borgnine is in Airwolf, and I like Ernest Borgnine partly because his name reminds me of the Borg from Star Trek.
I brought Airwolf up because Alex Code died, Archangel. He was the dude in the white suit. He died, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, actually,
88. He was 88.
Because I was looking at a lot of the actors in Logan's Run, and the actress who plays Jessica, she died.
Yes, she died.
I didn't know she's gone.
She's awesome. She adopted children and that. I'm reading her thing. And she were married to, do you remember Spencer for Hire? Forgot his name now.
Oh, I know the show, but I can't think of the guy.
Dan Vegas as well. I forgot. Robert Ulrich.
Oh, okay.
She were married to him, yeah.
Yeah.
He died as well. He quite young as well.
I mean, I know we're focusing on next week, but is the actor who played Rem in Logan's Run, is he still alive? He must be quite old if he's still alive now.
No,
he
got
a bit weird.
Moffat, Moffat his name is. He ended up, he did quite a few big movies later in the 90s. He was like playing assistant presidents and all. He suddenly just become quite.
I've only seen him in Logan's Run and the thing.
Television. No, if you look into 90s 30, he pops up quite a lot. I don't think he'll be alive now. He's still alive though.
Logan.
Rex
Yeah.
Logan,
I saw
and
that,
the guy that played Francis, he's still.
Yeah. I saw them both. It's nice to see them. They're also still going strong. But you've got to think about it. It was made in '78, and it's a long time ago now. But like I said, we'll focus on that next week. I'm only talking about it so much this week because I've just seen it.
Yeah,
but Alien Nation,
that's cool.
Alien Nation, great series. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, and I'm really glad we reviewed it. Thank you very much. Let's go into our focus of the week. Here we go. Our news, rather. Let's go into our news. Here we go.
Working. Solar Sci-Fi News.
All right, so what I've heard is that Star Trek Lower Decks is going to be starting about the next couple of weeks. And what else have I heard? Most of the shows that we like are wrapping up production of their respective next seasons. But as I say, there's still not much on at the moment to review. So it sounds like, Martin, hopefully you got more news than I've got.
Yeah, I'm just going to my Martin Sci-Fi page on YouTube. On Facebook. I posted some stuff today. That's I forgot to. Yeah, I forgot to. I normally set it up. Star Trek Animated. Star Trek Discovery Season 4 is not far away now. The show's producers have shared a sneak peek at the virtual set.
Oh, that's interesting. I think they've got a volume, haven't they? They've got one of those volumes that they have in Star Wars.
Yeah, they're actually auctioning off the Star Trek Discovery.
Yes,
stuff.
I saw some of the uniforms. They haven't got any more room for them. They've got to get rid of a Captain Pike. I did see this Captain Pike uniform, a Spock uniform, and I think a Michael Burnham season 1 uniform. So I did hear about that, which is but I think they're going for about $3,500 to $5,000 each in what they're hoping to get for them. So yeah, I mean, if you have the money, would you want to get a uniform, an actual proper one? No,
no, not from that. No.
all right. If it was a DS9, then if it was a Deep Space Nine.
Oh yeah, I've got a DS9 uniform.
What have you? Well, not an original one. You mean I've
Oh,
seen you
not
with the
an
one that? No, I was
original.
going to say.
No,
yes.
no, wish.
I was going to say if you're going to wear that, I would love to see
That'll
you
be
wear
on a
that.
mannequin in a glass case or something. I've had something like that.
Yeah, I've seen it because that DS9 later season and the First Contact is my favourite Star Trek uniform style.
Yeah, DS9.
That's my favourite one. Yeah, I like that. one.
Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie would have included time travel and gangster scenes.
Okay, that's all right.
Have you seen Suicide Squad?
No,
I do recommend it. It's fantastic.
What's it about?
No, it's that. Yeah, it's the one I mentioned. The DC superhero movie about a lot of villains.
I saw something which made me think of you the other day. I saw a film which was almost a spoof on superheroes. It was something called Mystery Men.
Oh yeah, I love Mystery Men. We should review Mystery Men.
I didn't get into it. I didn't find it that funny.
Oh right.
No, I mean maybe. I mean, I can see it was based sort of like on a bit like the Batman universe. There was a character who farted.
Yeah, I love
through...
Mystery Men. I think Mystery Men.
I didn't click with it. I don't know why. I didn't click with it.
The problem with Mystery Men, it were made before its time. I think if it were done today, I think it'd have been a big hit.
I don't know why. I mean, like I said, don't forget, I'm still relatively new. I like the Marvel universe, which you got me into, but I just because I think what I thought they were ordinary people who were acting like superheroes who were going to become superheroes, and they didn't. There was one guy who's invisible who did go invisible at the end. I remember that.
Yeah, he can only turn invisible.
But he really did turn invisible in one scene, which was quite. And then of course he can't back in his clothes. But
I like him with Fox, the Blue Ranger.
The British one, the one with the British accent. Yeah,
and his mother.
Ew, mother, could I have a sport? Could I have a fork, please? Yeah, but I have to say this, and I've said this to you before, that I'm often not very good at watching something the first time round. I think that I inadvertently build up an opinion of what I think the film is going to be, and I'm quite a tough sell. You know, I tend to warm up to stuff on subsequent viewings. I've even got better with Discovery since I've seen that the first time. So,
I went back to Picard. I've seen it. I went back.
I've seen it twice now.
Picard twice. Yeah. And I have to admit,
it's better the second time around. It's still got a lot of problems.
But it's still, but I did enjoy it the second time round more than the first, because I think I was more examining it. But it's still final two episodes were dreadful.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, and I still think that going to Discovery. I mean, most people think that the first season was pretty rough and ready. It was. You know, I mean, I'm watching the Next Generation season 1 at the moment, and some of those episodes are a bit rough, but it's still better than Discovery ever was in the first season.
Oh yeah,
you know, it still has that feel of Star Trek. But you know, like I said, in the future, we might warm up and we might listen back to these shows.
In 2 months' time, we're gonna have the Soul coming back.
I can't wait. It's been literally 6 months, apart from a couple of the Marvel things. There's been nothing on. It's been huge.
I'll give you a recommendation for a science fiction series. It did get cancelled, but it's looking like they're going to finish it off in a mini-series now.
What's that?
Dark Matter. I recommend.
You're going to say that? I've heard of it. I've not tried it.
I don't want to spoil it. I can't tell you anything about it. It came out at the same time at Expanse, and when Expanse got cancelled, Dark Matter got cancelled. Well, I just only got into it because I'd missed it. And I bought the 3 DVDs, the 3 seasons.
So I mean, obviously, you think it's what? I mean, I'll give it a go. If you recommend it, I'll listen to it.
It was, but the problem was when I got to the final episode, it popped up next day on Facebook. It'd been cancelled.
So it soured it. Oh, okay. But if they come back and finish it off,
I don't want to spoil it for you. I can't give you any spoilers.
When did they finish making it?
Hey, go for I'd say about three years ago, I think.
Quite a long time. Well, it's not that long. I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
But apparently the creator said there's a story, and he's trying to get he's on the loose in Hollywood to finish it off now, a miniseries, and I'm hoping he does it because it's such a cliffhanger. You can't get enough of it. I don't want to give you any spoilers. It's one of them things you just sit back and let it do its thing. But it's such a shame it got cancelled. But there's another science fiction series got made in 90s with Peter Weller. Omega 5. I forgot what it's called. I think that got cancelled. It would Peter Weller plays this space shuttle commander, and the Earth vaporizes in front of him and his crew.
Oh.
And this alien turns up, and he says, I can save your planet, but I've got to send you back 5 years in time into your bodies. And you've got to be.
Oh, that sounds good. No, that sounds good.
I'll find an Odyssey 5. Odyssey 5. Yeah, Google it. Is it a
TV series or is it a movie?
Yeah, it's a TV series. Peter Weller's superb.
I like it.
But his son's like an astronaut. And he's in space with him, and his son goes back to being at high school again. Do
you know what? I need some new stuff to watch. So you recommended Dark Mantis,
Odyssey 5.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if you don't mind sending me,
but there's an alien conspiracy through the entire series because who destroys the planet?
Okay. There is one piece of news I did remember, and it's actually something read, which is very loosely related to sci-fi. But a lot of people have been saying that I Am Legend, the virus in I Am Legend, is real, and it's partly they're worried that the I Am Legend virus was actually a real thing. I don't know if you read about it. It was on BBC.
I saw that.
Did you read about it? It came up and it had a picture.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just don't understand how does people actually wake up in the morning and actually do anything like normal.
Well, maybe there's a switch button, that when everybody's vaccinated, right, that the government is going to press a button and we're all going to explode or something.
Here we are, I found it. BBC News. I Am Legend screenwriter dismisses anti-vax claims based on the film's plot. One of the writers of the sci-fi film I Am Legend has clarified its fictional nature amid rumours COVID-19 vaccines would turn people into zombies. The 2007 film starring Will Smith is about a failed attempt to genetically re-engineer measles to cure cancer, killing 99% of the world's population. Those who survived the infection turn into mutant vampiric creatures. Claims that something similar would happen to people receiving COVID jabs have been circulating on social media. Last week, the New York Times reported that the owners of an eyewear store in the Bronx, New York, were struggling to persuade some of its staff to get the COVID vaccine, with one citing the plot of I Am Legend as a concern. One employee said she was concerned because she thought the vaccine had caused the character in the film I Am Legend to turn into zombies, the report said. I won't read any more, but go figure.
There was a failed attempt at a TV series in the 80s.
Oh, yeah?
And where it's set in the future and it's really cheesy. I say pilot episode, it never got made, where somewhere in the past they created makeup products and elf deodorants and that, but it was meant to make you look better. Anyway, people took it and rest of the world became these like mutant humans, and there's a city left that's trying to stop it. I mean, it's ridiculous. The makeup and perfume, and it never got made. I forgot. It's that bad. You
reminded me. You made me think of a great film from the 80s again, and it's really cheesy. It's actually got Robert Beltran from Star Trek Voyager in it, and that was Night of the Comet.
I love that film.
I love that bloody film. I think
love that film.
Really good film.
Have we covered that?
No, we've not done that.
I Night of the Comet. I've got that on Blu-ray.
I've got it as well. I love Night of the Comet. It's just
Catherine Mary Stewart.
Yeah, and it's just and they wake up and there's all this red powder outside and everything because they're a party and whatever, and I love it. It's just a really good, bit cheesy, but it's a good film.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it? Night of the Comet.
Right, another one on the shopping list then. So we've got loads of stuff coming up then.
You used to rent that all the time out of the video library.
I don't know how I came across it, but I never forgot it, and I still very fondly remember it when I come across it again. So Night of the Comet's coming up. We've got Logan's Run next week. And I think that's what's coming up at the moment. And then we've got one more Star Trek series to do, which we need to finish off, and that's of course Star Trek: The Next Generation. We've done every other Star Trek series apart from the animated stuff. I'm not going to bother with the animated series.
No, I agree. Can't bother with that.
No. So we'll do that. So Martin, thank you very much. Anything else to report before we sign off?
No, that's it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got to watch Battlefield Earth as well.
Oh God. Can you remind me of that? Remind me of that. I will do it.
I'll send you a message after.
We'll do it in a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah.
We've got quite a lot of stuff coming up, so we've got plenty to talk about. I've got nothing related to Alienation this week, so I just thought I'd chuck on "I Am the Doctor," sung by John Pertwee from Doctor Who.
No,
We've played
actually,
it
no.
before.
You know, in the film,
Yeah.
there was a soundtrack from the film A Puppet.
Oh, can we play a soundtrack? Or is it going to be
I
like
don't
YouTube
know.
Assholes?
It was a pop star. It did quite well in charts. It was there was a music video.
Oh, did it have a
was
music
song.
video integral to the film?
Yeah, it got.
Oh,
released.
okay. Well,
I
I'll
forgot
tell you
what it
what,
was. I
right.
don't. You'll have to hunt that down. I forgot what it's
So
called.
on post-production, it will either be John Pertwee, Doctor Who, or it will be this song from the film, from the original movie. So thank you, Martin. Next week, we'll catch you with Logan's Run, and we'll catch you next time on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Thank you very much.
Live long and prosper.